Hey, I'm back. It's actually been a while for me. Funnily enough, I left this as a cliffhanger for me too, so... oh boy. Okay, let's see. After climbing what seems an eternity, Yo finds herself standing in the second floor hallway. No sound greets her. There's only the gloom brimming with silent malice. She shuffles forward, calling it out in a weak voice. The door in front of her is half open. It must lead to the room that overlooks the front gate. Yo watches helplessly from a corner of her mind as her body, seeming to move of its own volition, slowly opens the door. The room is empty. A damp, stinking air clings to Yo's skin. Yeah, this isn't that bad. She's at her limit, unable to take a single step anymore. Her spirit has been utterly crushed. Nothing's even happened to you yet. It's just a little weird. Perhaps this is the moment her tormentor was waiting for. Something grabs Yo's arms from behind, something flexible and strong like slime-covered rubber. As the thing binds her limbs, finger-like appendages tear roughly through her blouse and force their way inside. Yo screams at the top of her lungs, amazed that she still has the strength to do so. Responding to her distress, primal energy surges through her body as she flails wildly to free herself. However, the grip of the thing behind her remains unbreakable. With escape impossible, Yo can only scream louder as something cold and wet slips under her bra and wraps itself around her breasts. Her ears are filled with the sound of something slimy sliding over her skin. I think I know where this was going. As the loathsome assault continues, the unimaginable terror threatens to drive Yo utterly mad. Her throat is already raw from screaming, and now she can't even breathe as she struggles desperately against her attacker. Suddenly, the thing pulls away. Yo falls to the floor, unable to support herself on her unresponsive legs. Oh. Okay. The creature that grabbed her is still here, lurking in a dark corner of the room. She can feel it watching her, but can't bring herself to turn around. She knows that seeing it will likely destroy the last vestiges of her sanity. From close by comes the beeping of buttons being pressed. Yo hears a cheerful electronic sound, terribly out of place in this room, and sees the phone in her hand blink coldly. A new text has arrived. She's powerless to stop herself from reading the characters on the screen. You're pretty and your breasts are big and soft. I bet they're good for attracting males. I mean... Now she has her answer. The message from Omi's phone was sent by the thing that just mauled her breasts. Okay. Yo curls up into a tiny sobbing ball, unable to raise her voice or even move. The creature makes a burbling sound. Yo somehow understands that it is laughing at her. Lamau. That must be how you tempted Fuminori. You tried to steal him from me, didn't you, thief? It's so weird when you think about it. Something cold seizes Yo's ankles, then travels slowly up her leg until it has covered her entire lower body. Some primal female instinct tells her exactly what is going to happen. Damn. She will be raped, powerless to resist a fate worse than death. I didn't expect this. She pleads feebly, even though there is no hope that the inhuman creature will be merciful. She hears it bubbling laughter. She hears its bubbling laughter again. The thing is enjoying her sorrow, her despair. Yo no longer has the strength to resist the monster on top of her. She's only able to shiver in revulsion as the cold, slimy thing covers her body. Her sight grows dim as her mind sinks deeper and deeper into a black, swamp-like abyss. A weight pushes itself between her legs, but it seems so far away. Oh, there we go. I won't kill you. Though her mind is now barely functioning, Yo hears a voice whisper to her inside her head. It's a girl's voice, sweet and sinister, with the cruel innocence of a child gleefully plucking the wings from butterflies. Honestly, that's a good way to describe her. Instead, I'll let you share in our happiness. Rejoice, Yo. We'll love you to death. The soft voice is a stark contrast to the unyielding strength that drives irresistibly into Yo's core. The pain is sharp and savage, greater than anyone she has ever felt before. Anything she has ever felt before. I said anyone, thinking, never mind. Should be unbearable, but there is no longer enough left of Yo's mind to recognize it as pain. Yep. While she stares blankly at the thing slithering deeper and deeper into her body, an idle thought floats through her fading consciousness. I've still never been Aw, man. Man. I've still never been kissed, have I? Oh boy. Oh, you zoom in. It's begun to snow by the time they pass Utsunomiya. Oh, I know where that is. They are actually going pretty far. On the Tohoku Expressway. Koji says. The reason I know where Utsunomiya is from EU4. In the passenger seat, Fuminori is gazing out of the frosted window in silence. He's been in this trance-like state for almost an hour now. Taking advantage of his inattention, Koji stares unabashedly at Fuminori from the corner of his eye. He still doesn't understand the danger signals that he's been getting from the man. Fuminori has stopped avoiding Koji, and he is even looking at him in the eye when he talks. So why does he seem even more distant now than he did when he was trying to push his friends away? Fuminori's posture is noticeably relaxed, but his gaze never wavers, not even for a moment. It's as though he is focused on a clearly defined future that he has chosen to bring about, one that has no place for the needs or wants of others. Right now, Fuminori is complete. Koji cannot help but feel that beneath his bland exterior is a core of solid steel that no one could touch. He's quite on the money there. Koji says suddenly, trying to gauge Fuminori's reaction. Fuminori replies curtly, still staring into the distance. Yeah, it's not good. Fuminori's tone is completely emotionless. Koji might as well have asked him about the weather or the condition of the mountain roads near their destination. Honestly, he doesn't. Fuminori answers in exactly the same tone that he used when Koji first questioned him following Omi's disappearance. Koji's eyes narrow. And he does know. Oh, dang. Finally, Fuminori shows some emotion. He sounds hurt, like he can't believe Koji could think such a thing. Sudden frustration wells up inside Koji. If possible, he'd like nothing more than to beat the secrets out of Fuminori's head. Well, I'm not too sure you'd want that. Koji's worried sick about Omi. To have his concern brushed off so coldly would be unbearable coming from a complete stranger. But from Fuminori, who is his best friend, Fuminori never used to be this callous. Even if Koji tried to interrogate him, he'd probably never find out what changed him so. Fuminori were still hiding inside the shell he erected around himself after the accident. Koji might have been able to get some answers out of him. With the sly, evasive Fuminori, however, there's nothing Koji can do. Fuminori will never reveal his true intentions, not to anyone. All that's left then is for Koji to discover the truth on his own. Man. Fuminori smiles bitterly at the mention of Tsukuba's name, perhaps feeling sympathy for her pain. To Koji, however, it seems like pity. It was sort of one direct said an ant or worm. Oops, I skipped it. Unbelievable. If Fuminori's feelings for Yo were really this cold, then he would have rejected her when she first confessed to him. But he didn't, or at least the Fuminori before the accident didn't. Once again, Koji can't help but wonder if this man who looks like his friend is really a different person who only possesses the memories of Sakisaka Fuminori. The snow has stopped falling when they get off the West Nasu Flats interchange. This area must have already been getting a lot of snow, however, as the nearby mountains are covered in white beneath the trees. By the time they turn off the highway and enter the mountains, road conditions are already bad enough for Koji to regret having forgotten tire chains. Nevertheless, he continues to power his car up the precarious slopes with only a road map to guide him. In places like this, an address isn't enough to pinpoint a location. His only choice is to drive down every road, including private roads that aren't even on the map, while searching for something that matches the photograph. Oh, that's annoying. Who buy a home in a place? I don't know. Yeah. More here is about Ogai, the last Koji wants to meet him. Fuminori is the one who spots the narrow road half hidden in the trees. It's practically an animal trail, overgrown with weeds that are tall and strong enough to withstand the weight of the snow. Koji stops the car and sticks his head out of the window to stare into the dark forest, but he can't see where the path leads through the tightly packed trees. Fuminori hands Koji the photo, which he compares to the mountain ridges visible beyond the trees. Fuminori's tone is as flat as always, but there is quite an intensity in his voice that leaves no room for argument. Although Koji's worried that his car's suspension wouldn't be able to handle the terrain, just get four-wheel drive, man. I'm joking. I have four-wheel drive, so limo. I need it where I live. There's no turning back now. He shifts into second gear and starts down the frozen road. Man, he knows how to use manual. The sun sets early at high altitudes. As the car creeps up the mountain path, Koji catches glimpses through the trees of the gradually darkening sky. The forest is completely still, with no sound save for the rumble of the car's engine and the crackle of snow and brush beneath its tires. Fuminori is once again staring silently through the front window. In the ominous silence, Koji feels the same faint chill that he felt when standing before Ogai's suburban home. It feels wrong, as though he is traveling deeper and deeper into a world not his own. Oh boy. After some time, a blocky shape suddenly appeared amid the trees, standing out against the twilight sky. Koji turns off the engine and compares the structure in front of him to the picture in his hand. Perfect match. Before he can tell Fuminori, however, his friend is already out of the car. Realizing that it's pointless to call out to him, Koji shakes his head, grabs the flashlight from the glove compartment, and follows Fuminori across the snow-covered yard. The photo must not have been taken recently, as the old run-down cabin before them has clearly been left to the mercy of the elements for some time. Oh, the front door appears to be locked, but Fuminori kicks it down without a second thought. Koji just watches, knowing that nothing he could say now would matter. All the windows were shut with heavy curtains, and the gloom inside is thick and stifling. Fuminori turns his own flashlight and starts rummaging through the cabin without regard for its owner's privacy. Koji is reluctant to do the same, but it is obvious that the mountain retreat has been abandoned for a long time, just like the house in Tokyo. There's no point in being considerate now. He goes to search a different room. Soon after entering the cabin, however, he realizes that their search is meaningless. There's nothing inside but bare necessities of life. Just the bare necessities? Anyway, some rooms are even completely empty, save for a thick layer of dust on the floor. Of what few pieces of furniture are present, more than half appear to have never been used. There's an empty chest of drawers without a single scratch or handprint, but bearing the telltale signs of mold and moisture damage. The condition of the cabin is eerie, though in a different way than the filthiness of the house in the city. It's like someone put together a mock-up of a home and left it to decay. The only signs that anyone lived here are found in the toilet, the bath, the kitchen, and the bedroom. It appears that the cabin was never used for anything but eating and sleeping. Beneath the darkened sky, the snow itself seems to glow with a cold white light. The scene is like something out of a fairy tale. But to Koji, it serves only as an unpleasant reminder that he has stepped outside the reality that he knows. Next to the front porch is a plain wooden door, half buried in the ground. It's locked, of course, but Koji sees no reason for restraint after what Fuminori did to the front door. Oh boy, the basement. The door offers surprisingly little resistance to Koji's heavy kick, breaking open to reveal a set of concrete stairs leading down into a pitch-black basement. Yep, that's where the fun begins, isn't it? Yeah. Koji would prefer to leave such a forbidding place to Fuminori, but it's not like he can just ask him to take his place. He descends into the chilly darkness, the beam of his flashlight leading the way. There turns out to be nothing in the basement but a storage room and a boiler. Exactly what one would expect to find in an isolated mountain cabin. The few packages of preserved food sitting on the shelves have long since passed their expiration dates, and the boiler doesn't appear to have been used in years. Koichi guessed that Ogai's mountain home has been abandoned longer than the house in Tokyo. Damn. Was Fuminori simply mistaken when he said that Ogai might be here, or was he lying from the beginning? Not sure what to do next, Koji goes back up the stairs and walks around the outside of the cabin, and there he finds the backyard. Ooh, a well. It's in much worse condition than the front yard, having been mostly reclaimed by the forest. It must have been neglected even when the cabin was still in use. The remnants of a woodshed lie in the yard, the mushrooms growing on it speaking to how much time has passed since its collapse. Next to the rotten logs, however, stands a circle of stones that has not yet succumbed to the elements. A well. Well. It's a well. The well has no bucket or pulley, but when Koji peers carefully into it, he sees that the water is no longer flowing. It's probably less than 10 meters deep, depending on how much mud is piled up inside. Koji's search of the cabin has revealed nothing of interest, inside or out. Leaning against the edge of the well, Koji wonders why Ogai brought this remote home deep in the mountains and what he was doing here. As far as Koji could tell, there's no sign that more than one person ever stayed here. Yeah. Fuminori's words play back in Koji's head. Could this have been some sort of secret refuge, a place to remain hidden from the world? That would explain why there's nothing to suggest that whoever lived here did anything more than eat and sleep. Koji suddenly remembers the doctor he met yesterday at T University. Maybe she'd know something. He takes out his phone and calls up the number. There's barely a signal, but he manages to get through. Koji's hopes... Oh. Koji's hopes are soon... Okay, shut up, voicemail. Okay. Koji's hopes are soon dashed, however, when his call goes straight to Dr. Tanbo's voicemail. He considers calling back later, but realizes that it would be hard to talk to her with Fuminori around. Fuminori would not at all be pleased to learn that Koji and Neo went to see his doctor. Koji decides that he'd better tell the doctor that he can what he can while he's still alone.
どうも、殿浩二です。昨日はお世話になりました。
Koji leaves a clear and concise message explaining that he went with Fuminori to Ogai's mountain retreat, giving the address and asking for confirmation that the property belongs to Ogai.
東京に戻ったらまたこちらから連絡します。では。
And that was the last she's ever heard of. After hanging up, Koji thinks back to their visit to the hospital. Is Dr. Tombo actually investigating like she said she would? Her reluctance to speak of Dr. Ogai is weighing on his mind. He talked to Yo about it on the way home, but they were unable to decide whether the doctor could really be trusted. Speaking of which, how is Yo doing? Koji hasn't seen her today. She's doing aight. He didn't say a word to her about his trip to Tochigi. She might be worried, especially so soon after Omi's disappearance. Thinking to check up on her, Koji dials Yo's number, and is surprised when it rings longer than it usually does. Did she forget her phone somewhere? Just as he's about to give up, the call connects. First thing Koji hears is a strange sound. It's not signal interference, but some kind of wet, distorted noise, like the voiceless groans or perhaps sobs of someone far away. No, that's exactly what they were. The person on the other side was crying. She doing night? There's a response, but is it really Tsukaba's voice? It's too twisted with agony for Koji to tell. Panic surges through Koji as he realizes something is terribly wrong. After a short period of nothing but pain moans, words started coming through the speaker one by one, as though each takes an act of will. She's doing night. Oh no. Oh. Does she see the way things are? What happened? Oh. You must be delirious because Koji can't understand a thing she's saying. Her gasps and wheezes, however, are enough to tell him that she's in unimaginable pain. What the hell? Maybe this is different? Either way. What? Yum? It's not making any sense. Koji feels despair seize his heart in an iron grip. What's happening to Yo now? 100 kilometers away? Only her voice gives any hint of what she's going through. There's nothing he can do for her. A little far away. Oh. Wow. Ugh. He suddenly breaks into a violent hacking cough, as though trying to expel something filling her throat. Koji screams into the phone, his reason overwhelmed by unimaginable horror. Which is why he is unable to react when his phone suddenly knocked from his hand, and why he didn't notice Fuminori sneaking up on him until it was too late. Fuminori seizes Koji's lower jaw with his right hand, cutting off Koji's angry shout. Koji can hardly believe the strength of the smaller man's grip. His biggest mistake was leaning back against the well. There's nothing to grab onto as Fuminori pushes him backward over the edge. He can only flail his arms vainly against the air. Koji soon loses his balance entirely. He feels a terrifying witlessness as the world spins before his eyes. Before he can realize what has happened, his back strikes something with tremendous force. He thrashes wildly as the cold, dirty water fills his mouth and freezes him to the core. Only when his fingers find the wall of the well he is able to regain his sense of direction and right himself. Oh jeez. On his hands and knees in mud, Koji vomits filthy water out of his lungs. He tries to shout, but it comes out as a hoarse groan, distorted by the echo in the cramped space. Fuminori's laughter, on the other hand, is as clear as a bell. He says scornfully. Well, Fuminori tosses Koji's phone into the well. Koji catches it just before it hits him in the face, but finds that the battery pack has been removed, rendering it useless. Bruh, that's just rude. This is no joke. It's a miracle that Koji is uninjured. He could have easily broken his neck. And just because he's not hurt doesn't mean that he's safe. Koji feels around the inside of the well, searching for something to hold on to. But the mud-covered stone offers no purchase. It's obvious that he won't be able to get out without help. Damn, that sucks, bro. Koji starts to say, but trails off as the pieces finally come together in his head. Today's sudden change in Fuminori's attitude, the smile that always seemed somehow malevolent. Fuminori hadn't been smiling at Koji, but at the thought of his friend's death. Can't wrap his head around this turn of events. Why would Fuminori try to kill him? True, Fuminori had wanted Koji to stay out of his business, but is that really a motive for murder? Understandable. Might as well. Yeah. Fuminori replies coldly. He sounds truly amazed that Koji would ask such a thing. Fuminori disappears from view, leaving Koji alone in the darkness with nothing to connect him to the outside world. Koji shouts at the top of his lungs, knowing beyond a doubt that if Fuminori leaves, all hope of rescue will vanish with him. No one will ever hear him calling for help from the bottom of this mountain well. In his desperation, Koji no longer comprehends the futility of begging for mercy. No god or devil will answer him. His only hope is that Fuminori will have a change of heart. Praying for a miracle, he keeps calling Fuminori's name. Eventually, the sky grows as dark as the bottom of the well. Koji can no longer make out the edge of the opening, as he has long since lost track of how many hours he's been screaming. Nevertheless, he continues to scream, for he knows that the despair silence brings will kill him. This is true, yeah? Oh. Alright. It's actually a good stopping point then. Not a cliffhanger, like I normally do, but you know, good regardless. Okay. Yep. Good stopping point. Bye-bye. Whee!